That string.
Okay, I got two troublemakers with me this morning. It's about, what time is it? 7 o'clock?
7:01.
5 to 7.
And we're on our way to pick up our next little project. These guys are a bad influence. Whenever I'm with these two guys, I'm usually going to buy something, so I'm blaming it on these two.
It's my fault. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, we're hitting the road. Les needs a coffee. Right, Les?
Yep, yep.
Did you happen to find that printed manual?
Oh yeah, I did. It's on my workbench.
Thank you. Yeah. Really a project that's already done. So how do you like my new bug?
It's not gonna fit on the trailer. Are you sure you took the right trailer?
I didn't show them the trailer. I only showed them the lift.
Okay.
That was just a diversion. Well, it's definitely not a good day for bike riding. It's about 2 degrees Celsius out here, and I think it's like threatening to snow. But we picked ourselves up a bike anyway, so got ourselves a 1999 Kawasaki Vulcan Drifter. So not to everybody's taste, but anyway, we'll talk a bit more about it when we get home. All right, Monday, April the 15th, and just after 10 a.m., and it's snowing here. We had a horrible day yesterday, full of rain. As you know, we drove to Caledonia to pick the bike up in the rain yesterday. It rained pretty much all day into the night. We actually had thunder and lightning last night. 0 degrees out, we had thunder and lightning, which is extremely odd. Anyway, a little bit of snow this morning. Fortunately, it's not sticking to the ground. Anyway, I thought I'd come out and give you a bit more information on the bike I purchased. I'm sorry guys, it's not a Triumph, it's not a Norton, it's something a little different, something that I've always liked, and saw this one come up for sale after searching for a little while, and here it is in all its glory. This is a 1999 Kawasaki Vulcan Drifter Edition. It's an 800cc. They made these actually in a 1500 as well. Anyway, this is the baby bike. I do not currently have my my bike license, so that will be part of the process here. We've got to do all the testing and the courses to get my license here. It's a graduated licensing system here in Ontario, so we've got to go through that entire program. Anyway, let me take a little bit around the bike. Be back in a second. As mentioned, this is a Vulcan Drifter 800. It is heavily styled after the 1940s Indians, as you can tell from the large style fenders. The seat is horrible. You'll have to excuse the seat. That was the first thing to go on this bike. There are going to be some other mods that I'll talk about those in a little bit, but I wanted to give you the stock version of this bike first, and this is completely stock. It's only got 13,000 kilometers on it, which is about 8,000 miles, I believe, from new. So it's in great shape. The paint is fantastic. The color of this bike is called Sunbeam Red. It was only available for 1 year availability, I think, maybe 2, in 1999 and 2000. So Sunbeam Red is the color, with obviously gold pinstripes. It does have a detachable windshield or windscreen, fairing, whatever you want to call it. So I think it looks a little bit better from the passenger side with the exhaust showing. I know this bike is not everyone's cup of tea, but I like it, and I'm going to like it better once I do some of my own personal mods to it. I just give you a little bit of background information on this bike. This bike was produced from 1999 to 2005. As mentioned, it was produced in the 800 and 1500 versions. The main difference between the two versions, obviously besides the engine capacity, was the 1500 actually had a traditional shock setup on the rear, so 2 exterior mounted spring shocks. This one actually has a single monoshock, so it's a little bit different than the 1500 visually. You can tell the 800 and the 1500 just by looking at the rear shock arrangement. So they made 18,000 of these bikes total for both the 1800 and the 1500. So 18,000, that's globally production numbers. I understand actually they made a 400 of this in, I think it was only limited to Japan. These bikes were originally produced, as I mentioned, in 1999, but there was a test market and the test market was Canada and Australia for the initial year of 1999 before they did the global release in the year 2000. So of that 18,000 number, there's only 1,200 in Canada, or 1,200 were imported to Canada. That breaks down to 600 800s and 600 1500s. So they expect that this bike is fairly rare since there's only 600 imported totally to Canada, and 99 was the first year. With this paint color, there were two paint colors in 1999. There was this pearl burnish beige color and this sunbeam red color that you see in front of you. So I think they anticipate that this bike is probably one of about 50 for the 1999 model year, so it's a fairly rare bike here in Canada. So as mentioned, this is completely stock setup on this bike, including the two-up seat with that optional backrest sissy bar, whatever you want to call it, which is absolutely horrible. So I guess what we'll do is you're probably all waiting for me to start this up and hear the V-twin. It does have the stock exhaust on it. I've seen some videos on people removing baffles from these stock exhausts. I've also seen some aftermarket exhaust on the market that are fairly expensive actually to purchase. I quite like the look of the stock exhaust. I'd probably like it a little bit louder, but I'll start it up so you can hear it. Alright, we'll do a cold start up on it. So completely cold bike. It's about 2 degrees outside right now. I can actually see my breath out in the garage. Anyway, so we'll see how she starts up. And we'll have to pull the choke. So full choke. Key on. Neutral. Yes, here we go. On. Just let that warm up a bit, and we'll come back and shoot a bit more video of it running. The bike has 2 small flaws on it. Like I said, the bike is pretty much mint for the most part. Very, very clean. Again, only 13,000 kilometers on it. So here's the first flaw. A little tank ding here. And I think that happened when they opened the gas tank. The keys have to stay in the cap. And if I lay the keys out, when they have 2 keys on the set, it actually dinged the tank there. So I'll have to be wary of that when I'm using the key to open the cap. And the other ding is up here, which is not really visible. I don't even know if you can see that. There's just a small ding right here. Anyway. There it is, the 1999 Kawasaki Vulcan Drifter. I'll shut her off and I'll come back and I'll talk about some of the mods I want to do. The neighbors are going to love me. Alright, let's talk about mods that I want to do to this bike, and some of you are going to be angry with me. I mean, technically it's a certified bike, it's ready to ride, but you know me, I'm going to take things apart and make them my own. So the first thing I'm going to do, as I mentioned, is that seat is going to go, if I put a new seat on it, a solo seat, and I've got one on order. I've actually ordered a, what's that, it's actually not brand new, I've ordered a used seat from a gentleman north of me in Sault Ste. Marie. It's a solo seat. It's the kind of an Indian style. If you can remember, I'm going for an 40s Indian look. So it's a solo seat that's got studs and fringe on it. So I think that's going to look pretty good on the bike. I've seen pictures of it on his bike. So it's going to probably just look as good on my bike, I'm assuming. So we're waiting to get that. It's supposed to be being shipped to me today. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is just swap the seat out. And like I said, to be honest with you, I could probably just you know, swap the seat out and be happy with it and ride the bike. But I think I'm going to go a little further than that. So seat is the first thing I'm going to do. Second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the tires because I want to go with the white wall tires on this bike. You can't see a lot of the tire, but I think the white walls for the look that I'm going for, and I'll continue on here and you'll sort of get the picture where I'm going in a minute. So I've ordered some Continental white wall tires, obviously front and rear, in the factory sizing. So those are coming, they're on the way. I'm coming from Pete's Superbike in Montreal. So those are ordered. I've got a light bar coming. I'd like to do a little bit heavier look in the front. So I've got the a light bar coming, and I'm going to have twin spot or driving lights, whatever you want to call them, on the front. So that'll be probably a later mod, but I do have the light bar coming for it. Next thing I'm going to do is, since I'm taking the fenders off to get the tires off, that would be a good opportunity for me to do what I really want with this bike. And unfortunately, this Sunbeam red paint, which is in, like I said, pretty darn good condition, it's going to go away. I like these bikes in two-tone, and as you guys know by looking at my 73 TR6 and my 60 TR3A, I like that black and white contrast. So I think what this is going to be, it's going to be a black upper and probably a Wimbledon white, so a creamy white lower, two-tone fenders, and obviously tank as well. We're going to get rid of the stock Vulcan Drifter logos off the tank, and we are going to probably put some Indian logos on there. Since this is it's going to be sort of an Indian tribute, and it already is obviously styled like an Indian, so we're probably going to put some Indian war bonnet emblems on the tank, just some decals. If I don't like them, I can always take them off. I'm not going to put them under the clear coat. I'm going to put them on top of the clear coat, so if I do not like them, I can always peel them off and do something a little bit different. So anyway, that's the plan for that, but for this bike so far. I don't know if I want to do any other mods. There might be, if I do any other mods, they're going to be minor, like maybe getting rid of these chrome mirrors, which are stock for this bike, and maybe going with some black mirrors to match the rest of the front end. Again, this front end, this blacked out front, was only available on, I believe, 1999 and 2000s. The rest of the years actually had chrome forks and a lot more chrome accents. So yeah, the blacked out bikes are a little bit more rare than the chromed out versions. So anyway, I think that's it as far as I know, as far as I can remember at the moment. Oh, the other, as I mentioned, the other option possibly down the road is to change out the stock exhaust to something a little bit more more radical. There's an exhaust out there called Hard Chrome, and it's a twin pipe exhaust. Makes these sound quite a bit louder, but sounds quite nice with that V-twin. So that's potential. We might go down that road sometime a little bit later. So I don't think I'm forgetting anything as far as mods are concerned. So again, I'm out here today, and I wish I could have it out in the driveway, but like I said, it's not that nice of a day out, so still sort of snowing a little bit, flurrying a little bit. I think what I'm going to do is just get the old camera out, and we'll take some still photos of it just to document where we started, and then we'll probably start later today tearing it apart. Anyway, we'll upload this video so you can see what the surprise is and what's arrived in the garage. So there's the before photos, and again, hopefully we'll start working on it this afternoon. Anyway, we'll upload this, and then we'll get back out here.